Good morning, everyone. Today I have the pleasure of speaking to Izzy from Portless. He's the CEO of Portless. Izzy, how you doing today?
Doing great, Ed. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, nice chatting. So everybody on in the Amazon space is talking about the issue of shipping and basically costs are going up. And I came across your company and we started speaking and we said we got to record this. What is Portless and how does it solve the cost problem for a third-party seller in the US?
Yep. So first, I'll just frame typical supply chain the way people are used to, which is if you sell this sweatshirt, you manufacture 10,000 units, you put on a shipping container, you got to wait 60 days, then you're paying import duties, then you bring it to US facility, then you're selling it to your customer. That's a long time from production to when you're selling it. Once you sell it, then you have a 4 to 7 day delivery if you're using one of those USPS standard options. So we take a different approach. We are based in Shenzhen. We say, once you're done production, don't put on a boat, send it to us. If you're in the Guangzhou area, we'll get to us in a couple hours. If you're north or west of China, we'll get 2, 3 days. But that means on average, 2 days post-production, your inventory is with us. We're integrated to every tech stack. Now you have inventory. You do a sale, we get the order, we do the pick and pack, we put it in envelopes, we put a USPS label. What we do is we do sorting in advance, and then we put it on cargo planes. But it will be delivered to your customer on average 5.2 days after the order. That means they make a transaction within 24 hours, they get a USPS tracking number. They have a USPS driver place the package at their front door 5.2 days later. It is a 100% local US experience from the customer's perspective. The tracking number just shows where we scan in the States. So it says USPS created a label, scanned in Texas, delivered to your final door. So now that the consumer perspective is 100% normal, the advantages for the brand has three major buckets. One, cash flow. You went from a months of lead time to days of lead time. Then inventory. Did I need 10,000 sweatshirts? I maybe only need 3,000. And I can restock as I'm selling a box at a time, a pallet at a time, or a truck at a time, whatever makes sense for you in the factory. And then this way, going out of stock. Out of stock should be a thing of the past. If you're seeing you're selling well, go back into production. If it's November 10th, you're sold out, go back into production. You're back in stock November 20th. Capture Christmas demand. So the idea of simple inventory and fast lead times for cash cycles is really the most important part of this model and how it's game changing to consumers. Then we also help improve margins. Warehousing with us is cheaper, pick and pack is cheaper. There's no container costs, there's no dry ash costs. Our shipping rates start at $5 for lighter items. So as long as your stuff are on the lighter end, we could ship it to door to door for starting at $5 for quarter pound. Once it gets bulkier and heavier, value goes away because, again, think cargo space. We have to put many orders in a single pallet for this to work. And we do this to 50 countries. So we do it to the UK, we do it to Germany, we do it to Australia, all local experiences, Australia Post, Royal Mail. Consumers, from their perspective, think you have really 50 distribution hubs in every country while you're just sharing one inventory and doing it everywhere. So that's fundamentally what we do at Portless.
So the concept sounds brilliant, and the implementation, how you guys do it, is really, because I know in business the implementation is the hard part. So
Yep.
hats off to you for actually pulling this off. To me, it sounds like what you do is you bring the Temu experience a little better because Temu, is coming from China, but the Temu experience to the open market, the third-party sellers. Because I happen to do some buying on Temu. And you're right, it's not for everything. If I need Dunkin' Donut pickups, I'm not going to buy it on Temu. But if I need a $30 water pick, why am I going to spend 70 if I could spend it for 50? So Temu is good for certain things. Is that accurate?
It's a great way. But the way we describe it is we're democratizing Shein and Temu's logistics business. There's nothing special about their products. It's the supply chain that allows them to run magical businesses of never being overstock, having the maximum value. So yes, we give the supply chain side, but we're specialists on local experiences. So we know how to hide the China side of the equation, the Chinese tracking. Customers never see it, brands never see it. We make sure it's always a local experience, but we give that logistics capabilities to any American brand, or I mean, any brand really in the world. We have European customers, Australian customers, etc. And there's one other aspect I'll tap into, and I know you want to bring it up, which is another big value out of today is Section 321, right? So I know you were about your was on your list.
Yeah.
Section 321, that the brands that we service actually don't pay import duties. As long as the order being shipped to the end consumer is under $800 value with the de minimis law, it is import duty free. No import duties, no duties. 100% import duty free. So in that case, the brands get to make more money, and we say, yeah, and people say, oh, only Shein and Temu, Chinese companies are only ones using it. Absolutely incorrect. We have tons of American brands that leverage this. This way, the American brands are making more money. They can reduce their cost to their customer. The consumer wins. They could take that money, spend money on hiring more people, spend money on marketing. It truly is a win-win. So that's another model. Again, our fundamental value is simplicity of inventory and cash flow, but it's a nice bonus for certain HS codes that have high import duties.
How does the inventory management work? Is it like a standard, like 3PL type software? How does that work?
Yeah, just imagine us another 3PL in the that happens to be in China. We operate like a US. We're US operated. So like you're gonna have English speaking people, you're gonna have Slack groups during integrations, RTAC. It's basically if you're on Shopify, it's a Shopify app. If you're on Seller Cloud, it's Seller Cloud integration. So it's a normal integration where we're a location, and all you're doing is once you're done production, instead of putting on a boat, you're sending it to us. You have
Mhm.
inventory, you're active.
It's incredible. I love it. I love it. I think a lot of people who are watching this are going to contact you. I think this is only for a certain niche of Amazon sellers. So obviously it's got to be somebody importing, so that's all private label. And my guess is it's for large private label sellers looking to increase margins, right? It's not for that guy who,
It's a great
uh,
question. So
yeah, I mean, if someone is doing, so who would this benefit the most? Not for everyone. So who
it's a
would it
great
benefit?
question. It's a great question. So Amazon is actually not the best use of this model, but there is still opportunity. So our core customers are DTC sellers, Shopify sellers, sellers that sell on Target, FBM, Walmart Marketplace.
Mhm.
FBA, obviously, we can't do, right? Like we can do FBA injection, but that's not our core business. So, like, we will facilitate people that, if a part of their business is FBA, we'll help you do it. But we help people either through their direct consumer business, so they have Shopify stores, etc., or they have a big FBM business. So we have big sellers on FBM because what we could do is we could help you go global. So if you have a big FBM US business, that is where we make sense. And then we'll help you open UK, Australia, Germany, because it's one hub and we could service all these different countries. So in the Amazon world, we're not for everyone. If most of your business is FBA, you know, we're not very helpful there because you're going to have to bring that by boat. But if you have a large FBM business, it might get interesting here because now you have import duty savings, cheap shipping, fast lead times. But like I know, for example, Amazon sellers would be like, oh, could I just warehouse with you and use you as a backup strategy when I'm sold out? We don't do that. So if you have a large FBM business, we could help you on the FBM. Target, Walmart, the Macy's, those marketplaces all work really well.
Right. So, I mean, if someone's doing, let's say, TikTok shops and he gets a viral video and he's selling 500 pieces, 5,000 pieces, this is perfect.
Exactly. Exactly. Or Shopify equivalent.
Right. So this is exciting, and I think this is an outstanding solution. I actually, I did a forum related, something unrelated. I was doing a poll, and the number one thing on Amazon sellers' minds is how they can sell off Amazon. And this doesn't get them the sale, but this takes care of everything else essentially. If you can make the sale on TikTok or on Shopify, this will solve the solution without a warehouse.
Absolutely. And I lived in both worlds. Actually, I lived more outside of Amazon than in Amazon, but I understand the concern of people are so addicted to Amazon. This to be, I've seen Amazon sellers try to be like, let's open a Shopify store one business. Very different. You have to be marketing professionals to run
Yeah.
that type of business. But Target is enormous and untapped. Walmart is enormous and untapped. So I highly encourage Amazon sellers to tap into those other large marketplaces. Again, we don't do it. I see our customers do that, and they're highly successful on these other marketplaces.
Right. So this is fascinating. One last question, and we'll leave it at this. How did you get into this space? Like, how did you arrive to Portless?
So I ran a consumer business for 10 years. I ran what Sheen was doing to fashion, I was doing to kitchen accessories. So the whole time I ran a cross-border consumer business in this model. Got very lucky. One of our first investors and advisors was former CFO of Alibaba. So in 2012, we got exposed to the space and we just kept doubling down really since then. So we happen to know the space really well. Then the infrastructure we built, it took us years to build infrastructure in China, the legals, the WOFIs, the KYCs. But once we were done it, then we had brands asking to leverage it. And we saw that the infrastructure we built was actually the better business for us.
Wow, it's a little bit like Amazon. They built all these warehouses for themselves and then they let other people use it. Same exact thing. So this was outstanding. I'm gonna have a link below, and I don't know if I'll have some kind of discount, but I'll have a link below where anybody can easily join. And like I said, it's for large brands who are looking to leverage the Temu advantage. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And we'll be talking. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.